Hi, I'm Mark Pillsbury for Cruising World Magazine. I'm here today with Leslie and Daryl Allen. They're the owners of Island Packet Yachts down in sunny Largo, Florida. At least I figure it's sunny this morning. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Daryl.
Hey.
So we're talking to them today to talk about the new 439, which won Cruising World's best full-size cruiser for 2021. It's a heck of a boat, really a good solid boat to sail. We had a lot of fun on it last fall during our Boat of the Year sea trials. But Leslie, Daryl, before we get going on the boat itself, talk a little bit about your long association with the Island Packet brand and how you liked it so much you now own the company.
Well, we were a dealer in California for Island Packet for about 26 years before the opportunity came along for us to buy the factory. So we have had the association with Island Packet for over 2 decades. We were always the largest dealer on the West Coast and always one of the top 5 of the world. And one year we were actually top dealer for Island Packet in 2010.
That's pretty good. And so you bought the company in about 4 years ago?
Yeah, it was closed actually in January 1st of 2017.
Uh-huh. And
we saw that things were, not, we weren't really sure what was going on with the company, and we had the opportunity to buy it, and God made it happen.
It seems like it's kind of working out okay for you. You got 2 Boat of the Year honors in a row. You won the overall title, I think it was 3 years ago with the 349.
2 years ago.
2019. Yeah, so...
And right back with
in the odd years.
Yeah.
So you've owned the company now. What's different now than from when you walked in the door?
Well, what our whole decision going forward was, how do we create a product that people want to buy? And we spent a lot of time listening to current owners and getting feedback on if they bought a new Island Packet, what it would look like, what kind of features they don't like on their current Island Packet, and what kind of features they would like to have on an Island Packet going forward. And we kept hearing the same thing, that they wanted less maintenance. They wanted a boat easier to sail. They wanted a boat easier to get on and off of. And they wanted a interior that was more to the cruising lifestyle of today.
Well, and what we saw on the retail side was that, there was no reason to buy a new Island Packet at the time. They were great. They held their value. They were quality. So we really wanted to take it into the next generation and build a boat that gave people a reason to buy new and invest in customizing and building their boat.
It's funny, years ago long before I ever worked at Cruising World, I'd go to the boat shows and you'd walk in and the line to get aboard the Island Packet to take a look at what was there. It was like you guys had a cult thing going. And I think it's still a little bit that way. I mean, I know whenever I visit you guys at a show these days, you always seem pretty busy.
We are busy.
It's crazy.
And from owner feedback and listening to our owners and our buyers, we've been able to create 2 boats that we believe are addressing the needs of the current Island Packet buyer. As dealers towards the end, we couldn't give people a good reason to buy a new boat, because the boat that you could buy that was 5 or 10 years old was just like the boat that was being built today. Mm-hmm. And so we felt like that was our challenge, is, how do we create a product that people want that's different than the product that was so great in the past that, obviously, holds its value. It goes forever. They're built like a tank. And as you said, it's a cult following. People love the brand.
Yeah.
That's
but
cool.
It's nice to give, give people the options that they want and give them the ability to do something different with their boat. I mean, if you're going to spend this much money on a boat, you want to make it your own,
It's completely ready to sail now from the factory.
with both the island packets that we've looked at over the last 3 years, we've been really blown away by the amount of flexibility that you guys bring to the table and what you're open to discuss. I mean, it's for a production boat, there's a lot of customization that can go on within that hull.
Yeah, and we're really, I mean, we are, I guess, still a production boat, but every boat is different. Every boat is unique, and out of the nearly 25 boats we've built, we have yet to use the same color corian more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday the color of the hull will change too, maybe.
Well, we actually are building a couple of boats now that are not the ivory hull.
Gray hull.
They're a gray hull with a white deck.
Like the Blue Jacket.
Oh, it'll be cool to see.
Yeah, we're excited.
Hey, so this is a good lead into the 439, which was the boat we sailed last fall. How did that model come together? It sort of got a derivation from an earlier model, didn't it?
Correct. It is the kind of obviously the 460 hull that we took. And so we take a proven hull design designed by Mr. Johnson, and we try to give the a more modern interior, a more useful interior for the boat. Probably the biggest thing we did is we eliminated the nav station. You know, there was a lot of real estate dedicated to the nav station, and we took that out and made a amazing galley. And then we allowed us to have an entrance into the aft storage area versus going down, climbing in and out of a cockpit locker, which is really the two driving forces behind the redesign of the interior of that boat.
With the galley is for me, I think it's huge. And then the accessibility from the lazarette, where you used to have to come down, to be able to access that from the interior is great.
It was sort of like walking into a little man cave back there. So just for the people watching, you walk down the companionway and you've got a very nice galley to starboard. And behind it, where you would normally have an aft cabin, you got this wonderful little workshop, and there's a washer and dryer in there. What else is in there, Daryl?
Well, we call it our utility room, and again, every boat we're building is a little bit different in there. We give our buyers the option to either have the washer, vented dryer in there, or just have a pantry hanging locker, additional storage. Obviously, the generator goes in there. We have the fuel filters there for the engine and the generator that are very accessible, and oil change system in there that's, again, all right there in your little utility room where the guy can go in and,
or the gal,
take care of his boat, You
even had a little stool in there, as I recall, didn't you?
It's got storage and so you can move it around.
I needed a place to sit down while I work on my generator.
So, okay.
Our average client is a retired couple that want creature comforts. They want accessibility to the storage. They want abundant storage, and they want to be able to design and build their boat, their dream boat.
Well, and accessibility to all the, like the filters and the mechanical portions that are, right there.
Kind of walk us through, layout options. I think there's a couple of different configurations you can have in the saloon. Describe a little bit about the owner's cabin and give us kind of a look and feel of what you got going on there.
Well, starting in the forward owner's head, we made it small changes there. We actually added a trash bin, made a little bit more storage area. We do custom shower doors, where we sandblast actually our logo and waves on the shower door. Upgraded the hardware and the type of material that we're using. We're now offering 12-volt air conditioners and heaters in the owner's stateroom as well as other areas of the boat, which allows the owner to have air and heat without having to run the generator or be plugged into shore power. The forward cabin and the forward head wasn't changed significantly from the 440 or the 460. We just did a few smaller changes. There was used to be a seat in the owner's stateroom. Now we will still do the seat there if you want, but everybody's opting for the additional hanging locker. So you have his and hers hanging lockers versus one hanging locker and a seat. And then in the salon, on both the 439 and the 349, we allow the owners to customize one side of the salon. So we've kept the traditional L settee that pulls out to make a double berth, but on the opposite side of that, really it's an open canvas. We offer captain's chairs, we offer different style tables, we offer the traditional full settee, we offer settees with a drop-down table to make a berth. We offer a full-blown nav station. If you're upset that we took the nav station away to make a bigger galley, then we'll build you a nav station on the port side of the 439. One client on the 349, who is actually a liveaboard bachelor, wanted the entire side storage, and we installed a washer, vented, dryer combo, and all cabinets on the port side. There is no seating whatsoever. Wow. So every boat is different. Every boat's unique, and the owner has really the options to do what they want in the salon on one side or the other. The galley is pretty much fixed as far as style or layout, but obviously you pick your sinks, you pick your countertops, you can even pick your faucets. You can have the microwave, not have the microwave. You can pick your open face dish storage or non-open face.
Yeah, you can do a slider, you can do doors, you can, it's not a crazy upcharge to do those things. I mean, we're not looking. There's
not an upcharge, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. If we can do it and do it the same as we would do it before, we're not penalizing people, so to speak.
We charge for the captain's chairs because we have to buy the captain's chairs and we send the fabric out and have them made, and so we charge for those. But if you want to make some changes in the cabinetry or something like that, we don't charge for that. And then of course, the aft starboard cabin is what we've designed into the utility room, but we can also make that a third sleeping cabin if somebody, needs an additional sleeping area. And then, of course, the aft port cabin is the standard double berth. And then, of course, there's a guest head there as well next to it.
So I know when we toured the factory, you mentioned a couple things from a construction standpoint that you're doing differently. The hulls are still hand laid, right?
Correct.
And the deck is cord?
The deck is cord with the Venicel.
And the hull is solid glass?
Correct.
And but you said that you've tried to remove the wood from the boat.
Well, we even as a dealer, we were getting feedback from owners that they were having issues with the marine grade plywood that was in the subdecks on the countertops, that's in the bow pulpits, that's completely the tank grid. The under structure supports for the IGU was all marine grade plywood, and it still is for many manufacturers. We chose to go to a product called Board that we had learned about by being a powerboat dealer in California. And the Board will never be eaten by termites. We were running into owners that take their boats to the South Pacific, leave them there for several seasons, and end up getting infested with termites. The termites don't eat the hardwoods, but they destroy the marine grade plywood in the boats.
Yeah.
And, so every place where there used to be marine grade plywood is now Board. It's a synthetic product that will never be eaten by termites, will never rot, will never deteriorate, will never warp. We use it in the subdecks under the aquarium, so you'll never have a cracked countertop again.
That's another thing we saw too, is with the, certain sinks on the older models, water would get in under the, in the sink and migrate down, and then the corian, the counters would pop up.
Yeah, so it would warp, obviously, the subdeck plywood and crack the countertop. So, the whole idea was to keep everything that was working and replace everything that we can do better.
Exactly.
And that's what one of the items the Board does. The next generation boats will never have an issue with dry rot because of marine grade plywood.
And there's no wood on the exterior, is there?
No, that was one of the things that every owner that we talked to said, we want less maintenance.
Yeah.
And we put a teak cap rail on the boat if somebody wanted, but so far nobody's asked us to do that. And even the eyebrow now is a synthetic product. So if you want a zero maintenance exterior boat, except for washing it, it can happen. And most of them go out the door that way.
And now you're sticking with the full keel that Island Packets have always had, but with the ballast material, you've made some changes there as well, haven't you?
Well, we use lead ballast, and honestly, I think in the past there was lead and steel both used. But as a dealer, I was never really privy to that. But just, for us going forward, our whole idea is to use the very best products that we can every place in the boat. So we made that decision early on that it would be lead ballast, even though we could use steel because it's completely encapsulated. Just the idea of having steel inside the boat doesn't work with us.
Yeah. We really wanted to stay true to the values of safety, quality, that,
sea kindliness.
Exactly.
The skeg rudder, the hull design is will never die.
Right.
We love the hull design, and we are.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Our owners are sold on the hull design, and I've sailed on many boats, and I find the Island Packet the most sea kindly sailboat that I've ever sailed on.
Mm-hmm. I got to say, both this boat and the previous boat, I don't know if it's the rig that you've put on it or the sails that you've put on it, but they've been remarkably good sailing boats.
Well, as a cutter rig boat, traditionally as a dealer, what I would find that if I went out on sea trials with less than 10 knots apparent wind, I'm not going to have a good day. I need a little bit more than that to have a good day in a cutter rig boat because of the small head sail. When we sailed the Blue Jacket 40 for the very first time with the Solent rig and that 170 reacher and 10 knots of breeze and felt the boat doing 7-8 knots, we were blown away. So our thoughts have always been that Island Packets are not slow because of the hull design. They're slow because of the amount of sail area that you're getting on the boat. So let's give it the horsepower it needs. And that's what the Solent rig is all about. And what we have also found through experience is that more of our cruisers run into light air than they do heavy air. So if you give them the rig that responds well to light winds, they're going to be a lot less motoring, a lot happier. So what we tell people is that you're going to sail regularly in 40 knots or less, the Solent rig is most likely a better choice. If you're going to do 40 knots or more or plan on going around the world, you consider the cutter rig or consider a version that combines both. On number 5, we're actually building it as a Solent rig boat with the ability to add the stay sail in a forward storm sail if you should end up being in that type of conditions. And his goal is to sail around the world, but it'll be something that he'll put up when he needs it, not there all the time like the cutter rig stay sail is.
And I guess for people watching, we should maybe point to the photo right in back of the two of you, showing how close those the two forestays are together. So you have an inner self-tacking sail and then a big, I think you said 170% Genoa that comes out. It will really give you the horsepower you need, or when you're sailing off the wind.
Exactly. And with a little bit of a breeze, the main and the self-tacking jib is so easy to handle and points like nobody's business. Our boats will outpoint the older Island Packets as well because of the jib and the main. So really anything at about 15 knots or more apparent, you can just sail with the main and the jib, and it's self-tacking, self-tending. It's very well balanced. It points high. We're not the only manufacturer building cruising boats with a Solent rig.
No, and for good reason. So
exactly. And it's been fun because when we've been doing a lot of test sails recently, we see our other, our older Island Packet owners out there, and
we blow them away.
Yeah,
we blow them away. We were sailing the other day in a 439, and the apparent wind was 3.5, and we were making 3.
That's pretty good.
That's what the Solent rig's all about.
Yeah.
Hey, the boat that we sailed down in Tampa Bay last fall, it had an interesting mainsail handling system, a fairly new product from Seldene. Could you describe how that works a little bit?
Yeah, it's really neat.
It's called the Seldene Synchronized or Seldene Synchronized mainsail system. And it's basically has an electric winch inside the mast that controls what would normally be the outhaul or the furling drum. And then it has a cabin top mounted electric winch, and they talk to each other through a NEMA connection. And so you push a button basically on the helm that says sail out, and the winches work simultaneously to bring the sail out in a very controlled fashion. And I mean, it can't be any easier than it is. And then to reverse the process, you push the in button. And of course, the winch doesn't go backwards, but you just tail the outhaul that was wrapped around the cabin winch with your hand. And the mast winch now spools the mainsail back in. Very simple, very easy. And most of our 439s are going out with it. And recently I had a gentleman who asked me if we could put it on the 349.
Well, and what's interesting for me as a woman and not, not as great of a sailor as Daryl is, I feel safe in knowing that, he can go down below or whatever, and I can do all that from the cockpit. And, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. It's incredibly easy for even somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah.
And you can use it to reef the sail as well, right?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And really you don't necessarily have to be head into the wind to reef it. We were out with Scott, with Seldene, during a photo shoot, and we were reeling the sail in and out in many different tacks of sail. So I don't know how you could get any easier. And what it does for our buyers, it allows them to use their boat for longer in their life.
As they age. You're not like, having to leave the cockpit. And again, I feel like for, a lot of women too, it provides that ease of feeling safe and comfortable with being able to do it right there from the cockpit.
Yeah. And it's foolproof. I mean, if it senses really something's wrong, it stops. So you can't, rip the clue out of the sail. You can't do anything really wrong. If it doesn't feel the tension going back in, it stops. So, it's designed to keep itself out of trouble.
Yeah, well, the day we played with it, that was one of the things I was most impressed with, is as soon as it feels that pressure that would perhaps jam something or hurt someone, it just stops. You sort it out, and then you start over again. And quite
exactly.
I think it's pretty foolproof. I believe. I mean, from our experience, we really love it.
So the conventional, if I just order the boat without that, what would I get? In-mast furling main or a standard?
Or a stack pack.
Stack pack, yeah.
We have one owner we're doing a stack pack with an electric halyard winch, and he wants a triple reef main in a stack pack. So the choices are there. Even if we don't have an option on our option sheet, and it's something that's important to our buyer, we're going to listen to them and we're going to make it happen if we can.
Yeah.
And everybody brings with some really, really great ideas. The boats evolve from our buyers' input. We've actually had a couple owners who've asked us if they could eliminate the jib boom in lieu of a self-tacking jib track on the deck instead. And so number 5, 6, and 7, all 3 will be built without the jib boom.
I was going to ask you about that, because I understand the concept, and I understand when you're off the wind, they kind of act as a vang, as a whisker pole, but it sure takes up a lot of room there on the foredeck. And so it's
exactly right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and we want to keep the past until our buyers tell us that they want something different.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Hoyt boom has been part of Island Packet for decades. And when we went to the Solent rig, because Bob had built the Solent rig with the jib with a boom, we felt like that was the right way to do it. But when we get owners coming to us independently, without us bringing it up, saying, would you build the boat without the boom? We pause and we think, and maybe that's where the market's leading, and it appears that it may be. So now on the standard equipment list, it says that you do get the Hoyt boom, but it can also be deleted in lieu of a self-tacking jib track.
And are there some options as far as the sails go? I know the 439 had just gorgeous, lovely sails. I think Quantums.
Well, in the very beginning, we obviously shopped around for sail makers and lofts that we felt, would be best for our buyers. And we settled on Quantum from referrals from people that we trust and know. And Quantum has been great. And they basically, we promote their standard Dacron sail. That comes with the boat, for the base price. But if you want to upgrade to tri-radio Dacron, that's a kind of the middle range sails. You can do that. And then, of course, the boats that you've been sailing on with us have the fusion membrane sails, carbon fiber reinforced, which are I feel like almost next to a race boat sail. So they hold their shape incredibly. And I really do believe they make the boats faster.
Well, and
they're so pretty.
They're pretty. And also, the people that we talked to and trusted, say that they wear beautifully. They are cruising sails.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And one of the people that we talked to that allowed us to make the decision to go with Quantum, and because of their fusion membrane sails, sailed around the world with Quantum's fusion membrane sails, and had previously done the same thing with another manufacturer's Dacron sails, and they said it was night and day difference. Yeah. So we want to provide our buyers with the very best, and provide them with options so they can have the boat that they truly want.
But they can use whatever,
If they don't want Quantum sails, we'll give them a credit, and we'll do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great sail manufacturers out there that we like,
On behalf of the judges, I would like to thank you for providing us two boats with very excellent sails.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit just about, the cockpit and how that's configured and getting on and off the boat and, access to the water, to the swim platform.
Well, one of the things that we kept hearing from our current owners was that they wanted a boat that was easier to get on and off, especially from their dinghy. So, one of the things that we worked with in the beginning or a long time was the design of the swim step. And we went with, Bob Johnson actually helped us with this one. And we went back and forth to a fold down swim step, to not a fold down swim step, to a shorter swim step, to, all different designs, to where we finally came up with what we have now, which we believe, is a large enough swim step to give you a good landing platform. And then we do a little intermediate step on the 349 and then two intermediate steps on the 439, which allows you to very safely and comfortably walk up. And then we have on the 439 actually a platform where once you get to the deck, you have a nice little landing there where you can stand, and then you move either onto the cockpit seat or down to the cockpit sole. Safety is always what we try to go by.
That's what I was going to say. When we first bought the company, we were looking at boat shows and we're like, everybody's doing this, full down platform, and we had to pretty quickly say, okay, we can't be true to
who we are,
our value of safety, and do that because there's just not a safe way to do it.
Are there any options in the cockpit? I mean, I remember a fairly good sized table.
Well, you can do the cafe doors, the teak cockpit table, drink holders, folding wheels. And then
cockpit cushions that kind of go over the coaming where, they're more comfortable.
Yeah. So, So it's just deciding how you want to do it. Yeah. Obviously we do a hard dodger or soft dodger. We do a complete canvas package for the cockpit, including a full enclosure if people want.
And, all of these options obviously affect price. So what would a base price 439 sell for, commission ready to sail?
Oh, most of the boats right now,
about 600.
Mark, are going out in the 600 range. Because people love the air conditioning. They want the generators. They want the Seldene synchronized mainsail system. They want electric primary winches. You could sail the boat at $479 In fact, you could take it like that. You could add electronics and canvas and sail around the world as long as you didn't want creature comforts.
Yeah.
We could deliver your boat in the very low fives if that's what you wanted. But most of our owners, they load the boats out because that's what they want.
Yeah.
Well, and they're going to be using them. I mean, one of the things that made it a winning boat for us was the fact that, if you and your wife were going to be taking off for a year, 2 years, whatever, this would really had a feel, the look and the feel and the storage of a liveaboard sailboat, we thought.
That's
absolutely
that's what we tried to create, and
with safety and performance,
right?
And
choices of building the boat yourself. If there's options out there that somebody has in their mind that are important to them, we want to hear about them, because, like we say, the boats evolve. It's every boat. We had, for one example, we had an owner a while back who said, "Would you put a safe on the boat?" And so we said, "Sure, we will." So now a safe is an option on every boat, and everybody wants it.
And I think you guys saw that.
Yeah.
Tucked in behind the captain's chairs.
Yeah, exactly. What's also been fun too is seeing our team evolve as we evolve. They get excited about the ability to be creative and to, we throw them a challenge, and I think they find it kind of fun to say, "Oh, wow, we can do this." Or
we'll be putting a fiberglass radar, stern-mounted fiberglass radar arch on hull number 4.
Wow.
That's going to be very exciting, and we'll be able to retail that for about half the price of what we were charging for the stainless steel arches. And of course, no maintenance, just as strong, but lighter weight as well. So we're excited about that. You'll be seeing that coming up. Basically, just on owners' desires. Daryl, I would like an arch, but I don't want to deal with a stainless arch. I don't want the weight. I don't want the maintenance of it. I don't really like the look of them. I want something that blends into a boat more. And so, okay, let's develop a fiberglass radar arch.
Yeah.
And you'll see that on number 4. And he's the guy who wanted it. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So before we wrap things up, I know builders never, they always want to save the big surprise for an announcement at a boat show or something, but we don't have boat shows right now. So any new models that you can talk about? Do you have anything in the works?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got the Motor Sailor coming along. It's a project that we had hoped to have out sooner than later, but we continue to make changes on it for the better, of course. And so our new 42-foot Motor Sailor should be out the end of this year or the first of next year. And it will answer the need for a round-the-world, long-distance, comfortable offshore motor sailor. We've doubled the fuel capacity on the boat from the past. We have an up galley version, a down galley version, 2 stateroom, 2 head version, 1 head version. We have an extended hard top over the cockpit version, or a soft top over the cockpit version. It's all induction cooking if you want, lithium ion batteries. So
it's not the SP Cruiser.
It's the SP Cruiser called, but that's the only thing you're going to recognize on it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we've sold 5 of those, Mark, off the drawings and from people coming and looking at the mock-up and what we're doing here. And we have really one more boat we want to redo after that, and that's the old 485 hull that we renamed the 525. We're going to do a redesign on that boat, get rid of the teak cap rail, and bring it out as a 529. And we do have drawings on that. We've actually sold 2 of those from the drawings, and we're 2 years out on that boat, maybe a little longer.
Yeah,
but
it's got a better galley.
But we're excited about you guys seeing both of these boats coming up. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have the Motor Sailor in Annapolis, not this year, but next year, and 529 the year after that.
Yeah, and the Motor Sailor is going to be exciting because nobody's doing anything like what we are, building right now.
Yeah, I mean, from the owners, the people that are buying them, there is a demand for this product out there. And we've actually had more than 5 sold, but we probably had 4 or 5 fall out just for one reason or another, personal reasons, COVID whatever.
Yeah.
So we see the demand out there for the boat. We're currently sold out through number 11 on the 439s and through number 20 on the 349s. So
that's great. That's great.
Available start slot is next year.
You know, you hate to sound like a homie, but you got to kind of root for the American boat builders these days. And
Yay!
got something going on.
That's what we say.
Hey, any last thoughts on the 439?
You know, the interest level is incredible. We believe that you know, with the feedback and everybody's help, that we really have hit the mark on that size boat, and you know, we're very excited to get it out there, and you know, we've got several coming up north. Number 1 and number 2 are both headed north in the springtime, so we'll have boats
Northeast.
up that way. Yeah, northeast. Yeah, so it'll be fun. The more product we number 3's headed to Texas, so you know, we just want to get the product out there so that, you know, our owners can show them off and get people excited about them.
And that's another fun part. Most of our 439 owners want to be brand ambassadors. You know, they're like, bring anybody to see our boat. They're proud and they're excited, and that's fun for us.
Yeah, and being able, you know, as a dealer, one of the things that Leslie and I enjoyed the most as a dealer was the commissioning and the turnover process, and teaching people to sail and dock the boat, and you know, taking them to Catalina for the weekend or whatever it took. And as a factory, we still do that. So it's fun to still have that part of the process that we grew so used to and that we like so much. So we're still here for our buyers. We obviously 3-year warranty. From bow to stern, 10 years on the hull and deck, and you know, we believe that the next generation island packet out there is answering the needs of today's cruiser.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool story, you guys. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk, and hopefully
thank you, Mark.
See you at a boat
Thank you, Mark.
sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless.
Mark
Take care. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.